So I'd been living in Gorkana for some time, and I was under the tutelage of Basu, and I'd been practicing fasting, conscious eating, Kriya Yoga, conscious walking, sitting in the forest, being conscious, and practicing Qigong in the forest. And I'd kind of reached the stage of spiritual development where I was sitting alone at night, having dinner with a potted plant. I'm sure many of you have been there. And basically I'd had enough of everybody's nonsense, of travellers' tales and yoga people lecturing me about eating healthily and chakras and their favourite asana and militant vegetarians and backpackers and political correctness and all the nonsense. So I decided, for my own sanity, to spend my dinner alone on this beautiful beach with all these backpackers and people from around the world. I sat and had dinner alone with a geranium. She was very good company. She was a beautiful plant, lovely crisp leaves, very nice flowers, wonderful pot that she came in as well with a very nice bowl that collected the water. So she was quite attractive, but she was also a very good listener, very good company, very attentive. And I remember one night I was sat there and Basu appeared at the table and he said, am I interrupting or can I join you both for dinner? So how had it got to that point? Well, all the practices I've been doing then, the fasting, the sitting on the cliff edge doing Kriya Yoga at sunset with eagles swelling round my head and conscious walking and sitting in the forest had made me tremendously sensitive to energy and other people's energy and consciousness. And one of the favourite games that we both used to have was looking at consciousness. So I'll give you an example. You're sat on the beachfront restaurant, you know, there's people around, there's monkeys, it's an Indian beach, okay, there's cows, there's trees. So you could look at the ocean for a while and the calm movement of the ocean would send your mind into a state of no words. And you could look at a tree. The tree would be gently blowing in the breeze, nice palm tree. The mind would stay quiet. A cow would walk past. This is India. Beautiful cow, munching a banana. You'd feel this lovely beingness coming from the cow, this wonderful energy, but no thoughts. And then you'd look at one of the foreigners who was always on about yoga. And the mind and all this thought would start. Wow, the cow's more enlightened than the philosopher. Back to the cow. Back to the philosopher. Jangly noise. And you could look at people walking down the beach and you could ascertain their state of consciousness and what was going on and feel the jangle of their thought process. And we knew a sadhu as well, and he was nice to observe walking down the beach because you'd bounce your attention around these people and there'd be you'd feel tension and oppression or whatever. You'd feel what the people were projecting. And then you'd look at a sadhu. Look at a cow. Look at the tree. Look at the ocean. Look at the backpacker. Trying to be cool, trying to get laid, trying to act hard. Oh, you feel it coming off you. Emanating this energy in this field of consciousness. quite entertaining. And one day then, I couldn't wait for everybody to leave the beach because it was Shivaratri and it was Shiva's birthday, okay? And in Gokana, it's a very sacred town. I think it's second in holiness only to Varanasi. So they have a wonderful festival, it's amazing. If you're in India and you ever get the chance, go there sometime in February and see Banana Throwing Day in Gokana, Shiva's birthday. I'd seen it a few times, so I was more curious, investigating how the beach would feel when everybody had left. So I went into the forest, did some Kriya Yoga, did some Qigong, and did my Eckhart Tolle practice of just observing the world without any words. I came out of the forest beautifully still in my mind. There was nobody there. The beach was empty. And as I walked across this beach, I got struck by a sense of being eternal. I felt eternal. It was really bizarre. I felt above time and space, beyond time and space. And then this feeling of eternity got deeper and deeper and deeper, and there was this feeling of endless, expanding eternity. And that was the true nature of all things. And this walk along the beach, maybe it only took 40 minutes to walk slowly down the beach. That was all eternity. I lived 1,000,000 lifetimes walking down that beach. It was indescribable. No wonder the sadhus go there and meditate and hang out in the back cave and really soak up the energy. What a fantastic place. But you see, all the egos had gone for the day. All the grasping, all the attachment, all the achieving, all the corruption of the energy had left, and everybody had gone. I'm not saying they're bad people, you know, it's just this is the nature of the ego, what it is. And there, all alone on that beach, I got it. And then as the people started coming back into the beach, you could feel the energy contracting and it kind of closing down because the people were contracted in a state of ego. There's no criticism of people, this is how nearly everybody is. But you could actually feel the people coming back onto the beach, and you could feel the contraction. And then you could feel the busyness of the mind begin. And what I learned through a lot of this time and hanging out with Basu and doing very interesting practices of getting into states of emptiness in the forest or on a cliff edge, practicing Kriya Yoga with the waves crashing at you and eagles swelling around your head, yet you're in a state of emptiness with all the drama going on. That was easy. The one thing that was really difficult was remaining in the now and remaining grounded with the constant bombardment of people's opinions and projections, because your thoughts have energy. And so what's really important then, if you are going partly bonkers and stuck in anxiety and depression, is to realise that most of those thoughts aren't your own. And this is when it really crystallised in my mind these years in Gokana, that the thinking mind, the ego, that thing that talks to itself and convinces you that it knows best and always knows what's going on in the situation, is an imposter. It's usually wrong. And your intuition, the heart, it's nearly always right. The skill comes in knowing the difference between the two, because the brain likes to catch us out in very, very clever ways. And in this time when I was in Gokana, being around people, being around nature and being around people and getting to deal with the projections, I really cut through my own ego. I realised that half the stuff I'd decided about people was crap, all projected onto them from my conditioning, and they were doing exactly the same thing back to me. So this conversation came about because I was recommending one of my students to look at one of her favourite houseplants when she's standing like a tree. And the knowledge of working with plants and nature and what it does to the consciousness, basically I experimented with all of that when I was in Gokana. So in the restaurants and the places where I was living, there was a lot of unconscious people who just drank all day and did lots of drugs and were not fun really to hang out with long term, very detrimental to your own sanity. And so to anchor myself in a raging sea of mad people all out expressing themselves and discovering themselves, to anchor myself I used the forest and the sea and the beach and the nature to maintain my sanity. And what I found is that you were living on top of people. Sometimes you could have wonderfully calm neighbours, sometimes you could have crazy neighbours and have altercation after altercation after altercation. And the way I dealt with it all was by just going for a swim, being in nature, going into the forest and staying balanced and calm every day. So at the moment people are pretty crazy. They've allowed themselves to be brainwashed by the television and by politicians, and that's created the brainwashing has created a lot of drama and crisis in their life, and they're in a state of hypnosis, mental derangement. So in order to stay safe from that, you get out into the countryside and hang out with trees, and your own house, have some lovely plants, because your neighbours might be going insane, but your house plants are on a level. And try your game as well. The next time you're in a queue, or you sat down at the doctor's surgery, or you're at the bus stop, if you're able to, calm your mind and sit, and maybe you'll see a cat or a bird, and observe the bird or the cat for a while and see how you feel. And then you see somebody walking past in the street, observe them, see how you feel. See if you can pick up on that person's state of consciousness. It's not always pleasant, by the way. And so you can turn all of this into a game that you play all day and make your spiritual practice fun and entertaining. Have some fun with it. And me and Basso used to fall about laughing. Things, people, the whole world, just the whole madness of this world that we're thrown in. You just got to laugh sometimes at it all. Never lose the sense of humour. And remember, the one thing that really upsets fascists is you enjoying your life and maintaining your sense of humour and having fun. So in that sense, if we make our spiritual practice fun, light, entertaining, and something that you can do anywhere, sitting on a bus, in the shop, get a smile on your face and just have a good laugh at it all and stay sane.